Hello there. So I've made a lot of videos about Lego and fake Lego in the past, and because of my rather strong opinions on the counterfeit brands like Lepin, people assume that I don't like the genuine Lego alternatives. Now that isn't actually true, and a lot of people actually ask me what I think of the company COBI. Well, I've never built a COBI set, that is, until today. Thanks to a company called Brick Tanks, which is a company which specialises in COBI sets, they've actually sent me, well, they let me choose anything from their website, but because I'm not greedy, I chose something that wasn't super expensive. I built this COBI set, and I'm going to tell you the differences between COBI and Lego, why I think COBI is a great company, give you a little bit of information about Brick Tanks as well. Now, I've left a link to Brick Tanks down below with a voucher code as well, so you can get 5% off, and if you buy from there, then I make 5% as well. Win-win. So anyway, without further ado, let's look at the set that I went for. So I actually selected the Supermarine Spitfire MK VB 5B, I assume that means. This particular set costs $25.99. This is already a stark contrast from the sort of counterfeit brands because, you know, it's a proper, shiny, well-printed, solid box. And if you're going to give this as a gift to somebody, for instance, or you're going to spend your hard-earned money, you want something that feels like quality. Now, looking at the COBI set, you'll notice this is a Spitfire, and that's because COBI actually specialises in military vehicles, so aircraft, ships, tanks, a lot of tanks, and people absolutely love their tanks. And this is the first important thing to mention when comparing COBI to Lego, because Lego don't make any military sets at all. So this is entirely unique, and the model designs, as you can see from this, are good. We're not talking, you know, really abstract, poor designs. This is a very impressive looking model. You're not going to get anything like this from Lego, so I think it's completely justifiable to stray and move to a company like COBI. So COBI is actually a Polish company. These sets are, believe it or not, manufactured in the European Union. They follow all the correct safety standards. So again, unlike the counterfeiters, the plastics and materials used in these are all certified for sale. So you could give this to 0 to 3 sad onions. You could give it to a child of 4 and not worry that when they put the bricks in their mouth something crazy is going to happen. This is completely safe. Now, this particular set contains 280 bricks and one, well, person. I don't know what they call. They're not called minifigures, are they? Because I think minifigure is a Lego trademark. Interestingly, on the back of this box, what I quite like about this is this little box here with a load of sort of facts about the Spitfire MK VB. So, you know, the length, the weight, the engines, the maximum speed, that sort of thing. Nice to be a little bit educational as well as a fun and collectible toy. But that's possibly enough of the delicious box. Let's take a look at the instructions. Now, this is going to be a rounded review. I'm going to tell you a couple of things about COBI that I'm not so pleased about, but in general, if you can't be bothered to watch until the end of the video, I do really genuinely like this set, and I'm going to keep this on display in my aircraft cabinet because yes, I do have an aircraft cabinet. The instructions are exceptionally well printed. They smell great. They're shiny. I like shiny instructions. If you can follow Lego instructions, you can follow these. There's just an example of them. Unlike Lego instructions, what they do is they highlight the bricks that are new to that particular instruction. Does that make sense? But as usual, there's a list of the bricks that you need down here for that particular step. Now, they are very easy to follow, but I did this in the dark, and I have to say that I did make a few mistakes, and as other reviews have pointed out, COBI isn't particularly forgiving when it comes to mistakes, so you really got to pay attention when you're following the instructions, which, you know, isn't a bad thing. It's my own fault for doing it in the dark. Now, this particular model, which has got 280 bits, actually took me several hours to put together, and it seems like quite a long time, but I was kind of doing it, as I say, in the dark, and I enjoyed every minute of it. It was a really pleasant build to put together, and you can see it on the screen now, sped up. My advice when building these sets is to open all the bags first. I tried to not do that and half open bags and things, but in the end I just opened all the bits, chucked them on the floor, and it was much easier to find the bits that I needed. Here it is. Isn't it gorgeous? It actually really does look exactly like a Spitfire. Now, one criticism that I've always levelled at the counterfeiters is copying Lego, stealing or infringing upon their copyright. Well, the parts themselves are unique. So this wingtip here is a single part, which you could conceivably add to your Lego collection, and you'll be able to identify it because it's not a genuine Lego part, but because it's unique and it's curved, it produces a really nice finish. These wings look absolutely great. Printed parts here as well. These are actually printed, not stick-on. I think they call it something like pad printed. These are not stickers, so they're not going to peel off and you're not going to lose them. There are also some articulated parts on this model as well. So these are the ailerons for turning left and right. You can actually put the landing gear up like that. The wheels turn on the bottom, and also the propeller as well. I mean, look how good that looks. A little plaque down here again, which is printed, and the display stand. I mean, there's not really a lot to not like about that model. One of the interesting differences between this and genuine Lego is, and I don't know if you can see it, but they're quite shiny, these bricks, and it's quite nice for a change because they've got quite a nice feel to them. But yeah, it's just very shiny. Like if you catch the light with it, I think it's a lot more shiny than a genuine Lego brick. While you're building this, you do actually forget that you're not building a Lego set. That's actually because the bricks have COBI embossed onto the studs. So at first glance, from a distance, and when you feel the bricks in your hand, it feels like you're using a genuine Lego brick. And again, that means that if these bricks, if you for some mad reason want to take this apart and put the bricks somewhere, I mean, look at that, it looks really cool. In fact, I might try and do some kind of thumbnail. If these bricks find their way into your Lego collection, you will be able to find them again because they've got COBI printed on them, or they're sufficiently unique that you will be able to find them. And the model feels sturdy itself. I have to say, you know, it's quite good that I can balance that on my hand. I guarantee that if that was just a kind of soppy Lego mock made by somebody, it would have fallen apart by now. But the actual brick quality itself is definitely on a par with real Lego, if not, dare I say, and please don't give me thumbs down for this, maybe slightly better. The bricks actually feel really good quality. They go together very, very well, to the point that it would actually be quite difficult to get this model apart. This model is meant for displaying, clearly, and rightfully so. So obviously, there is a sort of minifigure or small person-y thing, and this is possibly, in my humble opinion, the weakest part of the COBI set. So this is the little minifigure person, quite solid really. His articulated legs and arms, and his hat comes off like that. But you know, he's very shiny. People generally aren't shiny, mind you. I guess people generally aren't yellow either. I was going to say lello, but that's not actually a colour, is it? Yeah, and his legs just look a little bit funny, like he's got some sort of, I don't know, vitamin deficiency. They obviously can't sell Lego minifigures with this set, and it is unique, and they're not that bad, but yeah, something to identify it as a COBI model, so maybe I shouldn't be quite so harsh. Now, looking at the Brick Tanks website, you get an idea of the kind of sets that they've got. An aircraft carrier that contains 3,100 bricks, that's £190. I guess this highlights actually that there is, you know, there's basically a COBI set for everybody's budget. So I quite liked the look of that. And in terms of planes, this is, yes, the best-selling plane. Concorde is also on there as well, which I almost selected. So we've got Concorde, yes, we've got bombers, we've got helicopters, fighter jets. If we go in ships and boats, you can see it's a huge selection of boats. Other military, what's that? Oh, it's kind of tanks, gunny things. Now, Brick Tanks, as well as having all these things, if you live in the UK, a couple of things to mention. They have free next day UK shipping over orders of £10. Say you live in America as well, they also offer international shipping. They also ship to Europe as well. And one of the cool things about Brick Tanks is that they've got this thing called Panzer points, which I quite like the sound of. So when you buy stuff, you basically collect loyalty points, and then you can use those loyalty points towards your future orders, which I think is quite good. So yeah, this is a really good website if you want to get hold of different COBI sets. And as it happens, I do actually like COBI, so nobody need ask me ever again what my opinion is, because I think they're pretty good. They fulfill a niche that Lego doesn't. The quality is good. It's all above board and legal, so please go ahead and buy COBI without any fear of consequences. I'm not going to turn up at your door and give you a hard time. Don't worry about that. Anyway, as I said, link to Brick Tanks down below with an affiliate link and a 5% voucher code for you in case you're interested in getting hold of one of these sets. Thank you to my loyal Patreons who are scrolling down the screen now. Particular thanks to Magnanimous Meg and George Foot, who are extremely generous patrons. Thank you very much. I'll also leave some links down below to some other big Lego videos that I've made on this channel in case you're interested. Do subscribe, and I shall see you next time for another video.